Hello, I'm going to show you today how to make a mobile. A mobile is a work of art that hangs and moves, okay? And we're going to make our mobile out of 3 pieces of paper. We're going to use paper that's about 7 inches by 7 inches. It doesn't have to be that size, but that is what I'm using. And the paper is a little bit of a thicker paper. It's a cardstock, okay? If you don't have a cardstock or a thicker paper, you could also use a brown paper bag and cut squares out of a brown paper bag. If you have a white paper bag, that works really well too, because then you have a nice blank, a better color to work on with your paints, okay? When we're done, it's going to look something like this, okay? We're going to be making designs on both sides of the paper, and then we're going to cut them into like a spiral shape and attach them all together. Kind of like this. Okay. And that's why we're doing it on both sides of the paper, so that when we make our mobile, it will look really nice whatever side you're looking at. Okay? Now, how are we going to decorate our pieces of paper? What we're going to be using is a ruler, kind of like we did in our last project. I'm going to use a ruler, and I'm going to make some lines going on my paper, okay? You can use a oil pastel, like this, or you could even use crayons, okay? Maybe I'll use the crayon for right now, okay? You use black. And I'm just going to make some lines going across my paper. I'm dividing it into pie pieces. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I don't have to divide it into pie pieces. I could also make my lines go kind of like that. Now, my next step, if you want to do this, is to add some different patterns to the different sections of your paper, okay? Things like zigzags, or wavy lines, or loop-de-loops, okay? Or even just straight lines. Or you can add some other patterns, just like circles or X's, okay? You could also make random designs in different sections of your paper. You could scribble. And if you scribble in that one whole section, that will actually look really cool. Maybe I could even scribble in one section with one color, and I can use another color for a different section, this white. Now, you're not going to see the white right now, but once we use some paint, you will. Okay? Now, the other option is just to leave it blank and paint it in like that. Okay? So our next step is going to be to use some paint. I am going to be using some watercolors, okay? Any watercolors will work. If you don't have paint or watercolors and you just want to color in your paper with markers or crayons or whatever other art materials you have, that's perfectly fine as well, okay? Have some water handy here. and I get to paint in. And notice that when I go over the ones that I did with white, they stay white. They don't get covered up by the paint. Okay? And I really like the way that that looks. Okay? So I'm going to paint this in, both sides, and when I'm done, I'm going to have something that looks like this. Okay? And we're going to do that with 3 pieces, okay? Because when we cut it up, we want to have different, we want them to have different heights, okay? So, we do that with 3 pieces, and then the next step is going to be to cut it, okay? You can cut it in a spiral, like this, okay? Or you can cut it into a square, but it is a square spiral, I guess we call it. Okay? So, I'm just going to start at one corner, and I'm going to cut up, up, up. I think I'm going to do a square. So I'm going to go all the way up, then I'm going to turn the corner, up, and turn the corner, and the longer I keep going, the longer the piece of paper is going to hang down. This one's going to hang really long because I'm still going. I'm still going. Okay. Look at that. And that one is really long and cool. Okay? So, the first step, this week we're just doing the painting, and then next week we will do the cutting, and I will show you how to do more of the cutting next week. But I just wanted you to have a sense of where we're going with the project. Okay? So for this week, painting 3 of these pieces of paper, and next week we will be doing the cutting and assembling. Okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.